Samsung outed this phone without much fanfare or even a proper announcement recently, and if you look at the specs, it might be easier to understand why. This is Daniel from Phone Arena with a pre-production version of the Galaxy Grand Neo, which surprisingly has weaker points not only compared to the new Grand 2, but even to last year's Galaxy Grand. The handset sports a 5-inch screen with very low pixel density, but the rest of the specs are decent, as the Grand Neo offers you a 5-megapixel rear camera with LED flash and a quad-core processor. However, the original Galaxy Grand is still on the market and actually offers a high-resolution camera and video recording, which raises some eyebrows, so let's preview what can we expect from the Grand Neo. The handset's dimensions are neither compact nor light in comparison with other 5-inchers out there. The rounded corners and physical home keys scream of Samsung design, as well as the white plastic used for the chassis. Grand Neo sports a removable back cover, which grants you access to the micro SIM and memory card slots, as well as to the swappable 2100 mAh battery. Grand Neo comes equipped with a 5-inch panel, but that's where the fun stops. This basic LCD screen has 480 by 800 pixels of resolution, resulting in a 186 pixels per inch count, worthy of an eye roll. As a consequence, most everything appears jagged and pixelated, which can be rather annoying, not only if you're a screen purist, but simply if you have toyed with today's mid-rangers, most of which come with at least 220 ppi, and a lot of them are with HD screens. Still, for watching videos and occasionally for browsing, a big screen often trumps pixel density, so if these are your main purposes, the Neo might be a fine budget choice depending on the price. A pre-production unit of the Galaxy Grand Neo is loaded with Samsung's TouchWiz Nature UX on top of Android 4.2 Jelly Bean. Samsung's mum on if and when will KitKat hit the phone. With Nature UX, however, the most apparent visual differences that KitKat brings, like a transparent status bar and full-screen wallpaper, are present in the overlay, and the Grand Neo is no exception here. We're also getting most staple features of Samsung's homemade interface overlay, like Smart Stay, which keeps the screen on while we're looking at it, and the multi-window mode that can run two different apps on a split screen. The Air View and Air Gestures that are present on Samsung's more upscale handsets are missing from the Grand Neo. Typing on a larger display with one hand gets dicey when you have to reach for the upper left or right corner of the keyboard, depending on the side. It's advisable that you enable the swipe-like functionality, and Samsung also includes a way to scooch the keyboard, the dialer or calculator to the left or right, so that you can type with one hand without the risk of dropping your handset. The Grand Neo comes with a 1.2 GHz Broadcom processor, while last year's Grand came with a dual-core version. That's one of the few differences between the two, though it's unlikely to translate into much benchmark and performance superiority for the Neo. Samsung lists the phone with 1GB of RAM and 16GB of storage, expandable via microSD slot. Samsung's TouchWiz browser looks a bit dated with its squarish interface elements, but it's proven to be one of the fastest renderers. Plus, at Android Jelly Bean, it still sports Adobe Flash support right out of the box. The Galaxy Grand Neo offers plenty of connectivity radios, such as Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi Direct, Bluetooth 4.0, assisted GPS, DLNA for media streaming, and an FM radio. As usual, the gallery offers split-screen view with a thin strip that lists your folders on the left and their content on the right, which aids navigation around it. There are plenty of editing options built right into the interface too. The music player with its squarish interface elements is familiar from many Samsung phones. The interface might be unimpressive here, but it offers all the basics like song categorization, as well as an abundance of equalizer presets and sound modes to choose from. We also get a stock video player that runs all popular formats like MKV DivX and Xvideo without the hitch and up to 1080p resolution. Its interface and options leave something to be desired, so you can always grab a better one from the Play Store. The 5-megapixel camera on the back of the Grand Neo has an LED flash next to it, and there's also a front-facing shooter for video chat. Samsung offers plenty of shooting modes like Best Shot or Panorama, arranged in an easy-to-flip-through carousel. The phone doesn't capture 1080p Full HD video footage, but rather makes do with 720p HD resolution at 30 frames per second. Its predecessor, the Galaxy Grand, was able to do 1080p recording with its 8-megapixel unit, so go figure. Galaxy Grand Neo seems a bit of an odd bird, giving it on specs even compared to last year's Galaxy Grand, let alone to the newer Grand 2. The only advantage it holds before the Grand, for instance, is the quad-core versus dual-core processor, but we'll have to do a test with the retail version in order to call that an advantage even. Its specs are pretty basic, and in order to appeal to big screen lovers, the Galaxy Grand Neo has to muster up an enticing price. If the suggested retail tag is indeed €300 or dollars, that's close to the Galaxy Grand, which has a high-resolution camera and even supports the same version of Android, making it hard to call the Neo an upgrade. This was a video preview of the pre-production Galaxy Grand Neo from Phone Arena. For more information about this and other handsets, you can visit us at phonearena.com.